Greetings, everyone. Thank you for being here, hanging out. This is just going to be a little short video about the eclipses coming up. You might have heard that 2020 is a monumental year, and that includes the eclipses on top of all the other astrology we've been talking about. This is just going to be a short thing because I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to help everybody to get through all this. So I'm just trying to give you a heads up right now, and hopefully you will mark your own calendars, okay? So I'm talking about the eclipses 2020, okay? And I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm going to actually show you a chart in a minute and you can do your own homework. The main theme is going to be between Cancer and Capricorn. But there will also be a secondary influence of Sagittarius and Gemini eclipses, okay? The ones that are most concerning to me are these guys here, simply because they align with the Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter mega conjunction thing that's happening in 2020, and everybody, all the big astrologers are talking about it now. And as you know, Lumination is world famous for having written his little book. Actually, let me show you. Take this moment. This book, amazing, useful little book, Tarot Lumination, Wealth, Money, Finance, Global Restructuring, January 2020. You can check the links below to get access to this thing. But the whole point is that line up with the axis that I'm talking about. Let me just show you very briefly here in a miniature astrodoodle. Okay. So I'm going to put all these guys over here like this, like we do on the bigger astrodoodles. I'll put Aries on the horizon over here, just so you have the reference. Okay, that's the horizon. And the big events of January of 2020 are happening over here in Capricorn. Okay? Actually, I better get my colored pens. Stay there. How did I possibly think I could do this without my colored kitty pins? So, Capricorn, that's this energy in here. And this is what it's all about for with January 2020, especially January 2020, when everything lines up with Pluto and Saturn, and later on in the year we have Jupiter all lined up over here together around the, let's say, 22 to 24 degree mark, somewhere in there. So this is where all the action is for the whole world, okay? I'm keeping this super simple, and it's a very intense alignment. Let me show you a bit closer. It's a very intense alignment. When you put Pluto in there with Saturn, my gosh, Pluto, all that power, Saturn to do with control, management, and then later on we add in Jupiter, okay? We've talked about this quite a few times before, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more later on. But for now, I just want to let you know that all of these are lined up over here, okay? There's Pluto, there's Saturn, and then there's Jupiter. Excuse me. I'll put Jupiter over here. There we go. All of those guys are going to be piling up over here, and this is for 2020. Okay, now it just so happens with the Cancer Capricorn eclipses, they are happening on this axis as well. So I'm going to put another red highlight along this axis here. Okay, this is the Cancer axis over here. Squiggle, squiggle, and squiggle, squiggle. So these are the eclipses. They're going to happen on these axes here. So, like we've talked about many times before in different, shows and things, check out your own chart. Do your homework. Go online to those free places like astro.com and plug in your information. Do yourself a favor. Find out your birth data information and plug it in and find out what your personal chart looks like. And then when you do know your personal chart, I'm going to highlight this one a little bit more. Hold on. What I'm going to invite you guys to do, when you get to your personal chart, it'll look like a round thing with a bunch of numbers and squiggles all over it. But what I want you to look for is the symbol for Capricorn and the degree mark of about 22 to 24 degrees. So in other words, whoever you are, wherever you are on the earth, you will have this placement somewhere in your chart. It will be here. If your chart looks like this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this. So whatever your chart looks like, this point will exist somewhere in that chart. Okay, I'll put it right up here. Could be over here in the first house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, seventh house. I'm trying. I know this looks very amateur. Eighth house. I'm trying to keep this in the center. Ninth house, 10th house, 11th house, and the 12th house. Okay? And so on. Depending on what your sun sign is and so on, and your moon sign and your rising sign and all of that. Do your homework, okay? You have to. I mean, obviously, if you want to, we can get into this deep. If you want to do personal readings and things, I can still do them now and again. So what I want to do is now show you a chart so it doesn't look like it's just Tarot Illumination ranting on a bunch of, children's crayons. I'm actually doing something useful and relevant. So let me show you something on the screen here. Give me a second. See if I can actually do this for you right there. All right, here we go. Now, there are lots of sources for materials out there. The astrologers are very, very technical, and they have high-powered computer systems and everything, and some of them are like high-powered academics. You never see them anywhere, on websites or because they're doing classrooms and whatever, and they're just studying because they're very interested in these things. But here's an example of a place where you have the actual data listed out in a very understandable way. So, for example, this is the 2020 calendar of eclipses, okay? Do you see up here? Can you follow my cursor? Solar and lunar eclipses, 2020. This is for the whole year. See? Over there, let's have a look. And I picked out the year 2020 because that's where we're heading. Now, this is out of control because most years we're lucky to get 4 eclipses, okay? That's normal in a year, but we're getting 6. And watch this. Carefully, watch the magic. I like to think that we're going to have 7 because on December 26th, 2019, there's another eclipse. It's in the Sagittarius Gemini axis, but it's the first glimpse of the Sagittarius Gemini axis that's going to appear towards the end of 2020. But right now, we're going to focus on the Cancer and the Capricorn axes here. Cancer, Cancer, Capricorn axes. Because these are the ones that are aligned with this over here. Can you see on the, hold on, let me expand this. See if I can make this bigger. No, it's already bigger. Okay, let me just do something here for you. Okay, can you see this? I'll try and do it up really close so you can see it. Look at this. You see Cancer, Cancer, Capricorn, okay? Cancer, 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 Capricorn, okay? That's the axis I'm talking about because it's highly relevant to the big January 2020 alignment with Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. Okay, got it? Now, what I'd like to invite you to do is, if you want to, you can explore each of these. What happens if you pull these open? First of all, actually, let me go back to what I was going to show you earlier. You see these 6 over here? Okay, all these 6 lined up. I'd like to do like an introduction. I'm going to go back to 2019 over here. Watch this. Okay. So you can go to this website, for example, and you can find all these things. If you look at this, do you see this one here? December 26th. It's right at the tippy end of 2019. It's just like somebody's knocking on the door for 2020. And you see here, we had all these walls of Capricorn, Cancer, Capricorn, eclipses, okay? And you can see the dates here. We've already lived through all of this, people, as you know. But this is coming up at the time of this recording that I'm making. And I think it's relevant because this eclipse sits right on top of this axis again. So it's a huge wake-up call for 2020, okay? Let me show you something here. So this is a solar eclipse, okay? So it's like a new moon. So it's like new starts, new beginnings for Capricorn energy. And that's happening on a global scale, okay? This whole thing here is happening on a global scale. Now, take it down to the individual, get your chart and find out where that little point lines up in your chart. And that is the point in your life where you're going to feel these immense, profound pressures of change, okay? And it's for everybody, okay? Some people won't be aware of it, and the changes will happen anyway. Some people will be acutely aware of it, and they might resist the changes. Some people will be acutely aware of it, and they will do everything they can to go with the flow of the changes. It's up to the individual. You make decisions. You live your own life. Okay, so please mark your calendar. Be aware of this one here. Okay, let's go back to 2020. I'm going to roll it up to here. Now, if you want to, you can click on each of these eclipses and it will show you a very accurate chart exactly of the eclipse at that time. So I'm going to do that. The problem with doing it this way is that it shows you the exact transit of that time for a particular place on Earth. So it makes it quite hard to interpret it for the individual. But I'm going to show you an example anyway. So if you're really keen on the astrology stuff, you can do that. So over here, let's have a look. We're going to click this one open on a separate page. Watch. It'll come up in just a second. Here it is. All right. Let me close this ad first. Hold on. It's distracting. So this is what it looks like. Let's see if I can find the actual chart for it. Hold on. Wait a minute. There's a way. Here it is. Right there. You see this one? All right. Here is the actual chart for that particular eclipse. Okay. So now have a look. Watch the screen. Okay. Watch the arrow. You see that red line? That represents the polarization. That is the opposition between the moon and the sun. Okay, because this is a full moon, okay? The moon is in Capricorn. Sorry, the moon is in Cancer. The sun is in Capricorn. Look at all this energy piled up over here. Okay, they've also got Jupiter here by now. Venus has already moved on, but look at this. Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury. That's freakish, okay? That's just freaky. So anyway, this red line will appear somewhere in your chart. What I'm trying to demonstrate here, look at the little window on the side, please, over here. Hello, 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 over here. I can't actually make it much bigger with this system at the moment, but you see this little purple line, okay? I'm trying to line it up. That line here. try and find this line in your chart. Those will be the areas in your life where the eclipse will affect you, okay? I'm going to go back to the basics here, okay? So you can do that for each one of these particular dates. Now, let me go along a bit here. Let's do the main dates. Okay, December 26th, 2019. Okay, that's the Capricorn new moon. Okay, and then over here we have January 10th, 2020. This is bang on the moment of critical mass for January 2020. This is kind of like a trigger point, and this is in Cancer, and it's a full moon. Okay. The next dates, you can just read them off. You can see them. June 5th. That's the Sag one. June 21st. Okay, this is another Cancer one, okay? I should have mentioned this as well. Hold on. I'll come back to the nodal axis in just a second. July 5th. So it's always 2020, 2020 here, okay? And July 5th, this is going to be in Capricorn, and that's a new moon eclipse. And the other two eclipses, November 30th and December 14th. My voice is still very, very tender. I'm sorry, I'm already losing my voice, so I can't go on too much longer. December 14th. Those are the Gemini Sagittarius ones. That's later on. But these are the ones that I'm concerned about, okay? This one, this one, this one, and this one. So please mark your calendars, okay? I'm going to go back to my page over here for a moment. Give me a second. I'm going to stop this share. Okay, so these are the key dates I'd like everybody to take a note of on their wall calendars or their, smartphones, however you chart your year ahead. I watch this stuff because I have to. If I don't watch these things, my life just goes, whoa, it's just like driving on black ice. I can't do that. I want to have a life. That's why I pay attention to these things. Anyway, these are the key dates. 26th December 2019, January 10th, 2020, June 21st, July 5th. Now, also another thing about the Capricorn, Cancer, Capricorn axes is that they lie on the nodal axis of what's happening on planet Earth at the moment as well. I guess I should put that as a marker. I'll just do another quick doodle for you so that you can see like how things link up. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on analysis. I just want you to be aware and then invite you to do some of your own studying and your own homework. I'll put Aries over here. I'll put Capricorn over here. So it's like a universal chart, okay? And then Cancer over here. Now, it just so happens through a lot of this year, we're going to be dealing with the Cancer North Node axis and the Capricorn South Node axis, which is along this line here, okay? And so the eclipses are happening here as well, okay? I'll make a note, like so. Ding, ding. These are serious, like, ding moments, like, when some, have you ever been into a spiritual bookshop or something, and they've got all their, like, glass bowls and crystal bowls and singing bowls lined up, and a tourist or a visitor is walking around and they go like, "Oh, what's this?" And they take the big hammer and they go, "Ding!" And the whole store starts shaking, That's what this is. This is highly resonant energy here. It's affecting the whole planet, okay? Especially up here, this stuff. With the North Node, of course, we're being urged to be more compassionate and caring and take care of ourselves, our home, our family, our loved ones. I believe that good fences make good neighbors, for example. It's a very, very good analogy with Cancerians, because Cancerians can tend to be extremely vulnerable to being compassion junkies. And sometimes you can overdo it. So sometimes the Cancerian energy means having to really, really tighten up your boundaries, your home, your family, your place of rest, your castle, your security, so that you are not invaded, you're not taken over by very powerful controlling entities out there who have a very strong desire to take advantage of all of the delicious vulnerability of the Cancerian energy. This energy is very powerful here. There's going to be potentially a lot of, let's just say it, global restructuring. January 2020 is when it really begins. But that's restructuring happens with the individual as well, okay? So again, wherever this lies in your chart, that's where you're going to feel it. Throughout the year, these two trigger points, okay? And it aligns with this, okay? Okay? And these are the dates of maximum impact, okay? All right, now I'm going to check out with you guys. Hold on, I just want to let you know that I'm actually here. Give me a second, see if I can do this. Let's have a look, people. Am I here or not? Let's have a look. There I am. Hello, hello, hello. This is Terra Illumination. I'm just trying to keep up with things, get you guys appraised and set up and ready for 2020. I've been ranting about it, on and off the channel for quite a long time. And I wrote this book years ago. I actually wrote it years ago. I sent it to some really top astrologers and they kind of went, oh, whoa. So I like to think of myself as like, I got you first. Okay, let me go back. I'm trying to think if I wanted to add anything to this. Really, this video, I'm just trying to do it as like a wake-up call, just to keep people informed that I'm just not sitting here ranting. There are, highly professional astrologers who know a lot more about this stuff than I do. And I'm trying to distill it and squish it down into little tiny digestible nuggets so that anybody could, have a look into this thing if they're interested in optimizing their life, making the best out of these energies so that instead of being crushed by the Saturn Pluto thing, you can ride that wave, okay? Think of sine waves, okay? I'm going to do another video about that in just a little while, and I'll share that with you, okay? So we're looking at 7 eclipses in a row, okay? 7 in a row, and a lot of them are on the Cancer-Capricorn axis. It's a big deal, people, okay? All right, I think I'm going to stop this. I'm going to go back to the stage. I think, actually, no, I'm just going to say bye-bye. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to stop the recording, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Take care. Bye-bye.